going to do some simple printmaking. But before we do that, I hope all of you were able to log on to your Google Classrooms today and saw that we are starting something new, some Spirit Weeks like we have at school. So we might as well have some fun when we're at home too. So this week we are doing things all about kindness. So make sure you check that out. And we have a Google Classroom set up too, so that if you want to share some of your pictures, you can do that. Today's is decorate your window or chalk your sidewalk so that your neighbors can see it when they're driving by or taking a walk today. So the project that I'm going to do, I'm going to turn into one of those pictures from my window. So if you can look down here, you can see some of the prints that I have started. All right, and what we need to do to get this done is some simple supplies that hopefully you guys have. I'm going to be using some styrofoam meat trays. So what I have done is I have cleaned off the trays after I have used whatever was in them from dinner. So I don't know if this was tacos one night or some chicken, but now it's going to be a printing plate. So you need a clean styrofoam tray. You're going to need some scissors. Okay. I have a dull pencil, which are all my pencils at my house, or a ballpoint pen. You can use either of those. And we are going to need some paint. I have some Simple Craft paint right here that I have left over from a lot of different projects, so you might have some of that laying around your house. You might even be able to try to do this with watercolor. It might not be as successful, but you could experiment with it. So if you don't have all this stuff now, you can save some stuff up. See if your paint closet or your craft closet has anything extra that you can find, and then we will get started. So what we're going to do first is we are going to take the edge off of our meat tray so that we have a flat surface. Okay. So I have the edge cut off. Now, this is kind of loud, so I'll hit that real quick. Printmaking is something that's been around for a very long time. It's whenever you make an image on something and apply ink or paint and you put it on another surface, and then you make new originals each time. It's a way to make projects quickly. It's a way to make a lot of originals with one piece. We're going to be doing some relief printing with this form right here. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to cut this apart a little bit so I can make some multiple ones. Okay, I like to work with similar shapes in multiple sizes so we can get some cool overlap and things and some dimension with our work. So these are ones that I made earlier. There's a flower and a leaf, and you can see the flower and the leaf motif on here repeating. Okay, so I'm going to stick with that a little bit, and I am going to make more of a pointy flower for this one. And what's going to happen is I'm going to use my pen because I like that. But as I work with it, you can see that it dents that styrofoam. And when it's doing that, it's making an impression. And I'm going to poke some holes in there for the inside of my sunflowery kind of shape, and I'm just going to put some more texture on these leaves petals. All right, so I got all my shapes cut out, and you can see I already started doing a little printing. And what I did was I just poured some paint onto an old Pop-Tart container. It doesn't have to be anything special, and I'm going to put just a little bit of paint on my stamp. If you notice, some of these you don't see my lines very well, and that is because my brush was a little wet and I went a little crazy on the paint. The styrofoam is cool because it's not going to absorb the paint, so you don't need very much. And if you don't have paint, like we said earlier, you might be able to use markers, or maybe even have a stamp pad laying around. If you had a stamp pad, that would be perfect because you could just tap it into your stamp pad, put it right on your project. So you can see that I am going ahead and putting on my designs. All right, so I'm just finishing up this paper, and I've just been layering and overlapping my stamps, trying to make an interesting design on here. I can cut these out and attach them to something else, a card maybe. I had a couple blank cards, so you can see I made some blank cards that I can use to send for tomorrow's virtual Spirit Week. And that is send a card or a letter to somebody. You could send it to a family member or a friend. These ones I'm going to take and use some marker on later. So what I'm going to do is I'll just do some outlining, and I might even put some colored pencil on, because printmaking is also a really great mixed media project. So you can do the printmaking, and then you can go ahead and add other stuff to it later, which looks kind of neat, or turn it into something else. So I hope you guys are able to save some meat trays and find some paint or some old stamp pads that you might have laying around. And even if you don't have the stuff to make your own and you have some actual rubber stamps, just play with those on your paper and see what you can come up with. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.